welcome to today's Travel Talk show. We're with the Women's Travel Club and we do our Travel Talk show every week. This week we are taking a virtual journey to Iceland. We're going to learn all about this fantastic and fabulous country. It's called the land of ice and fire, and you're gonna see why. Very excited to present Iceland to you. I will try my best with a lot of these Icelandic words, which they don't make easy, but we'll see how it goes. So forgive any strange pronunciations of anything. And if I start being able to talk at all, it's just after stumbling over so many words.
And
so,
if there's anybody listening that knows the language, tell them to raise their hand and join.
No, I don't want. just nod and go with what I say. Okay, so let's get started. So we are the Women's Travel Club. We do small group women-only tours all over the world. Our tour size, we do keep quite small, so only up to 16 ladies per tour, and that can also depend on our destination and the type of tour we're doing. It could be even less. Most women will come to us as a solo traveler and quickly make some great travel friends. So you never have to worry about being a solo traveler again. Once you've been on one tour, you'll have some great travel friends to go on other tours with. If you come to us as a solo traveler and you'd like to take advantage of a double occupancy rate, we will offer to match you with a roommate so that you can do that. Or of course, there's also single occupancy rooms available at a supplement. I am Marianne Southall. I am in charge of the marketing department. So I run all of our travel talks and send out emails and that type of thing. And I am here with Irene Murray, who is in charge of operations. So she is usually who answers the phone or the chat if you happen to call in. So if you know Irene and have called in or chatted with her, you can jump on our little chat here and say hi. She loves to have some interaction and loves to hear from people that she's actually talked to on the phone. Just a little bit of housekeeping. If you have any questions, we do welcome your questions, but we're going to answer them at the end of the show. So if you have a question and you don't want to forget to ask it, there is a Q&A section. So you have a menu bar somewhere on your screen, and you can actually move it around your screen. So if you don't like it at the bottom, you can move it to the side or the top to kind of get it out of your way. But in that menu bar, you should have a spot that says Q&A. If you click on Q&A, you can type in a question. So at the end, we'll read out the questions and answer them to the best of our ability. If we don't know the answer, we will find out for you. We'll get you to just give us your email address and we'll check into it and find out. Also, if you just want to chat, if you want to say hi to us or say hi to the other women that are attending today, you can definitely do that and do that in the chat. Or if you just have a comment on something, you want to laugh at the way I tried to pronounce something, you can do that in the chat too. I promise I won't look, so you can all laugh at me. And the chat is, so it's very informal, and at the end, if there's any questions that Irene's seen that come up that are of importance in the chat, she'll bring them up, but mostly that's just an informal kind of chatting place. You'll notice in the chat too that there is an option to just send to the presenters, so that's Irene and I, or if you want to send it to the presenters and all the attendees attending, you can switch that over to send to everybody. So let's get started. Welcome to Iceland. Truly nature at her best. This volcanic, underpopulated island between Europe and North America is a must-see for so many people. Let's explore what she has to offer and see why. Location is a definite plus for Iceland. A flight from Toronto to Reykjavik is just under 6 hours long and can usually be quite inexpensive. This also makes Iceland a great stopover location between North America and Europe. But truly what makes Iceland so wonderful is what you find once you get there. The name of the country, Iceland, may not be entirely correct. Although 10% of Iceland is covered by glaciers, it has a surprisingly mild climate and countless geothermal hotspots. It's a stunningly beautiful place if you enjoy unusual and desolate landscapes. The country itself is a land of extreme contrast. Vast, unspoilt nature lies at the doorstep of a highly modern urban community. Iceland is volcanically and geologically active. The interior consists mainly of plateaus of sand and lava fields, mountains, and glaciers. Many fjords dot Iceland's over 3,000 miles of coastline, which is also where you'll find most settlements. Because it is close to the Arctic Circle, the amount of daylight varies dramatically from season to season. The sun sets briefly each night in June, but it doesn't get fully dark before it comes back up again. In March and September, days and nights are about of equal length. If you go in December, you will experience almost 20 hours of darkness. Summer is the best time to go if you want more light and warmer weather, but if you're after the northern lights, you may have to brave a bit of colder weather and look at the end of October or November. A good place to start will be where the international airport is and where most tours will start, in Reykjavik. When taking an Iceland vacation, the first place usually visited is the capital and largest city, Reykjavik. Possibly the first thing that strikes the visitor is the differently colorful houses with their red, white, blue, and green rooftops. Reykjavik is a sophisticated city and has an excellent selection of restaurants, bars, and shops. It's also a compact city with very easy to walk around, which is highly recommended as many attractions are within walking distance. The Old Harbor is where you can watch fishing boats bobbing in the water and take in the snow-capped mountains in the background. From here, you can take whale watching and puffin viewing trips. One landmark that can't be missed in Reykjavik is the extraordinarily designed church, which dominates the skyline. There are great views of the surrounding area from the rooftop viewing platform. Reykjavik boasts many museums and art galleries. The most important include the excellent National Museum of Iceland and the National Gallery of Iceland. After Reykjavik, the most popular activity on an Iceland vacation is usually the Golden Circle tour, easily done in a half day from Reykjavik. Our first stop is Thingvellir National Park, about 25 miles from Reykjavik. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site because of its historical, cultural, and geological significance. It is also the site of Iceland's first parliament, established in 930 AD. The parliament met here until 1798. This is a place where you can walk between two continents. Thingvellir is a place where Iceland's stark geological processes are playing out right in front of you. It is where the history of the nation truly began and where almost all its major historical turns were made. And quite simply, it's a beautiful site with a wealth of things to do. Iceland, settled by the Norse, started with the arrival of Ingolf Arnarsson in 874, and for the next 56 years, the era was called the settlement period. Driven away from a newly united Norway under King Harald Fairhair, many communities from many different clans started to spring up all around the island shores. This, however, was quite an unsustainable situation. The arrivals largely shared an ancestral home, religion, and language, but otherwise had their own leaders and customs. Violence between groups, therefore, was commonplace, as people fought for their beliefs and for the limited resources their new island had to offer. District assemblies began to form, but the majority of the power in the island was concentrated in the southwest around Reykjavik in the hands of the descendants of Ingolfur. The settlers spread out around the rest of the country resented this, thus pushed for a general assembly to establish how they could all live together harmoniously. A man called Grimmer Griesfroth was given the task of gathering representatives from each clan and finding a suitable meeting location. As is often the case with Norse history, this became a reality through rather grim means. Just as Griesfroth started searching, a man who owned a sheltered piece of land accessible from all corners of the country was convicted of murder, and his property turned public. This location would become Thingvellir. While still clearly more convenient to reach for the wealthy individuals of the Southwest, it took no more than 17 days of traveling from the furthest reaches of the East, so it was settled upon as the assembly site. In 930 AD, over 30 ruling chiefs met for the first time to discuss law on the island and to create a commonwealth. The meeting was such a success that the chiefs returned each following year. The institution called the Albingi developed to be a place where disputes were settled, where distant relations could share their annual news, and where criminals were tried and punished. No one person ruled the entire parliament. The de facto head was the law speaker, but he was simply the institution's mouthpiece and only ceremonial powers. Instead, decisions were made collectively. It was at Thingvellir, which translates directly to the fields of Parliament, where most of the major turns in Iceland's history then started to occur. Our next stop along the Golden Circle is the geyser geothermal area. The highly active geyser hot springs area is known for boiling mud pits and exploding geysers. Here, against a vivid landscape, you'll find two bubbling geysers of note, Great Geyser and the Stroker Geyser. Great Geyser, or simply geyser, is the earliest documented geyser in European literature and has been active for around 10,000 years. Don't expect much from it though now. Geyser is considered all but inactive, stirring only when earthquakes inspire bursts of activity for a few months at most. For action though, look no further than nearby Stroker. This geyser erupts every 6 to 10 minutes, shooting hot water as high as 40 meters into the air. Just make sure you and your camera are waterproof. As you walk through the surrounding Hakadurla, Hookadalr. I have little notes I should pay attention to the Hookadalr Valley. You can admire the many hot springs, smaller geysers, and bubbling mud pots. Now on to Gullfoss Waterfall. A short drive away lies Gullfoss, one of Iceland's most famous waterfalls. Watch as water thunders over 2 drops, falling a total of over 100 feet, and admire the rainbows that shoot from the spray. From your viewpoint, you can admire the Langjökull ice sheet. During the summer months, when there's no ice on the ground, you can walk up to the edge of the falls and feel Gullfoss spray on your face. It's such an incredible, invigorating experience. While you're here, you could also raft the Heifta River, an exhilarating experience that allows you to feel the power of the falls up close. While Thingvellir National Park, Geyser Thermal Area, and Gullfoss Waterfall might be the most well-known Golden Circle attractions, there are some other noteworthy detours too. Located between Thingvellir and the geysers, you can truly relax and unwind at the Fontana Geothermal Bath. Fontana Spa uses the natural waters from the area's hot springs to create 3 steam rooms, a traditional Finnish sauna, and shallow kid-friendly bathing pools. Curio Crater forms a complete oval and has a small lake at the bottom. The rocks surrounding the crater have fiery reds and oranges, combined with the bursts of black and green, while the lake below adds to the palette with the sky blue waters. You could take 1,000 photos of this beautiful sight. For the adventure of a lifetime, head to Langjökull Glacier on a snowmobile. You can experience Langjökull Glacier at any time of year, as there's always snow. On the drive from Thingvellir and the geyser geothermal area, stop off at the eco-village of Solheimer. Visiting this village allows you to learn about more than the community, about how the community maximizes the potential of every resident, regardless of their age or disability, and supports their cause. While Thorsardalur Valley is not officially part of the Golden Circle, it allows you to get off the beaten track and experience some more beautiful thundering waterfalls. This little village is rich with history and is considered by some as Iceland's first town. Skúlholt was home to the country's first bishop and school. It's worth stopping to admire its quaint cathedral or visit the nearby secret lagoon. Let's have a look at a few more sites around Iceland. A little southeast of Reykjavik is the mighty Skogafoss waterfall. Skogafoss is one of the biggest and most beautiful waterfalls located in South Iceland. Due to the amount of spray the waterfalls often produces, you may see a single or double rainbow on sunny days. There are also steps leading up to an observation platform above Skogafoss, and it is well worth climbing up to see the waterfall from above and the beautiful view from there.
Sorry about that.
The volcanoes of Iceland can be thanked for its beautiful and dramatic landscape. Even more, the latest eruption has turned into a tourist site. It is deemed the perfect tourist eruption. Since the initial eruption, lava has steadily seeped out of the volcano at a rate of about 5 to 10 cubic meters per second, a flow strong enough to ensure the lava does not solidify and close the fissure. More than 10,000 people have ventured to the site since Friday, and there's been an infrastructure set up so that they can visit safely. Irene and I were just talking about this because this just literally just happened. This volcano going off, and people were even cooking at it. So cooking hot dogs and stuff right on the lava. But this is going on just right now.
But this is, Mary, you've mentioned I think it's really cool that the one individual actually went to cook bacon and eggs in a pan, and presumably the pan just got absorbed into the lava. You can just imagine it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Now, you can't imagine being that close if it's that hot.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is in contrast to the 2010 eruption that some might remember of Eyjafjallajökull volcano.
Not bad.
I've practiced that for a long time. Which disrupted air travel between Europe and North America because of concerns the material of ash and dust could damage jet engines. More than 100,000 flights were grounded, stranding millions of passengers. And the difference being, I learned, is that if there's a glacier on top of the volcano and it goes off, that's when you get all the ash. And so this volcano that just went off this past week doesn't have a glacier on top of it. So we're not getting the ash issues, and it's just not as strong as Eyjafjallajökull, which is, in case anybody wants to know, Eyjafjallajökull.
So try it. Yeah, go ahead and try it.
The country has produced around 30 active volcanic systems, and its volcanoes have produced a third of the total global lava outputs over the past 500 years. Very close to Skogafoss waterfall is Eyjafjallajökull Glacier. The Eyjafjallajökull Glacier is the fourth largest glacier in Iceland and covers a vast area of more than 270 square miles and is as thick as almost 2,500 feet in some places. When the sky is clear, the glacier ranks amongst the most visually stunning in the world. Unlike other glaciers you can only admire from a distance, here you can get up close and even step onto the ice. Because of crevices and the quickly changing and extreme weather conditions, touring the glacier with an experienced guide is recommended. The entire ice cap sits atop Katla volcano, one of the largest active volcanoes in the Northern Hemisphere. The volcano erupts every 40 to 60 years, with the last eruption being in 1918. Vatnajökull National Park covers 13% of Iceland and is one of the largest national parks in Europe. This is where the battle between ice and fire still rages, created by the forces of rivers, glaciers, and volcanic and geothermal activity. The park contains the largest glacier in the world outside of the Arctic. Vatnajökull National Park offers the opportunity to experience and learn about the forceful interplay between volcanoes and glaciers. Svartifoss waterfall is located in Vatnajökull National Park. It is one of the most incredible and glorious waterfalls in Iceland. Its name literally means the black waterfall. The narrow and extremely elegant cascade drops 20 meters from a crescent-shaped cliff composed of magnificent hexagonal black basalt columns. Nowhere on Earth has as many beautiful and amazing waterfalls as Iceland. This can be attributed to the terrain and the abundance of water in all forms, be it in swimming pools, hot springs, geysers, lakes, glaciers, rivers, or waterfalls. Iceland is bursting at the seams. The waterfalls in Iceland are countless. Every year, new ones form from melting glaciers, and almost every river has a few. And they can be seen all over the country, many of them from the Ring Road. We have mentioned a couple, but let's have a look at some more of the most notable ones. The ones we have already mentioned are Gullfoss, Skogafoss, and Svartifoss. Here are some others not to be missed. Glimmer. Glimmer Waterfall is Iceland's second highest waterfall, 198 meters high. For a number of years, it was the tallest waterfall in Iceland, and many locals still talk about it as such. But in 2007, a new waterfall emerged with melting glacial water called Marsafoss. Marsafoss is still relatively unknown and it's hard to reach, but has a drop of 228 meters. Glimmer, however, situated in the west, is more accessible. Although it is not far from Reykjavik, it is not visible from Route 1 and is about a 2-hour hike from the main road. If we head over towards the east coast, we can visit Hengifoss Falls. Hengifoss is 128 meters tall, making it the third tallest waterfall in Iceland. It is situated in East Iceland, not far from the capital of the East. The waterfall is a single drop in amongst black lava cliffs with horizontal red stripes of clay on the rock face. The hike to the waterfall is a fairly easy one, although it takes about 40 to 60 minutes to hike all the way to the waterfall from the parking lot. Not too far from Gullfoss, we have Hayfoss. Hayfoss waterfall is Iceland's fourth largest waterfall, 122 meters tall. It is situated in the Fossadalur Valley in the south of Iceland. You may need to hike a little from the road in order to reach it, but it'll be well worth the walk. Now up to Dettifoss, the most powerful waterfall in Europe. Dettifoss waterfall is the most powerful waterfall in Iceland when it comes to the volume of water. It's only about 45 meters tall, but about 100 meters wide, and it has an enormous amount of water thrusting down every second. This waterfall is prominently displayed in the opening scene of Prometheus by Ridley Scott. Back down south, close to Skogafoss, is one of Iceland's most photographed waterfalls. Seljalandsfoss. I think this is my favorite waterfall in Iceland. Snæfellsnes waterfall is in the south of Iceland and is easily accessible. This is a waterfall that you can see from every angle. It is right by the main road and there's a short walking path going all around it, accessible for every fitness level. It is breathtakingly beautiful to watch the waterfall standing right behind it. Snæfellsnes is only about a 2-hour drive from Reykjavik. Snæfellsnes, which means lava falls in English, is a series of waterfalls formed by rivulets streaming over a distance of about 900 meters from the Hallmundrahan, a lava field which flowed from eruption of one of the volcanoes lying underneath the glacier Langjökull. Because the area around Snæfellsnes used to be the site of constant eruptions, the lava fields are known for their hidden caves. Dynjandi is the crown of the West Fjords. It is 100 meters high and gradually spreads out from top to bottom. At the top, it's about 30 meters wide, but at the bottom, it's about 60 meters wide. The waterfall is one of 7 in a row of waterfalls. It's situated in the West Fjords of Iceland, the most remote area of the country. Another not to miss water feature of Iceland are the hot springs. You can find hot springs of all sizes and shapes in Iceland, entirely natural ones or natural ones that have had a little help. However, bathing in Iceland's warm waters is equally popular with travelers and locals alike. And the versatility is so great that they should appeal to all types of travelers. Iceland boasts some natural hot springs that are free to enter, but they lack facilities such as change rooms, showers, or bathrooms. And therefore, several other hot springs and pools charge entry, but in return, they have excellent guest facilities. These have consequently become the most popular hot springs in Iceland. They would be classified by many people as spas, although they have a hot spring element. Let's have a look at some of the best hot spring options in Iceland. The Blue Lagoon is by far the most popular and well-known. And the light blue milky waters are the perfect 38 to 39 degrees Celsius, which is 110 to 102 degrees Celsius for our American friends, or Fahrenheit for our American friends. And this attraction has been named one of the top 25 wonders in the world by National Geographic. Although the water itself is entirely natural and full of rich minerals such as silica and algae, the lagoon didn't form naturally. It appeared by accident in 1976, caused by human-made construction. Today, the lagoon is world famous and most impressive spa resort in Iceland. It features several restaurants, cafes, an in-water bar, a hotel, a gift shop, and a relaxing area with massage facilities. The Blue Lagoon is on Snæfellsnes Peninsula, only a 20-minute drive from Keflavik International Airport and 30-minute drive from Reykjavik, making it a popular first or last stop for arriving and departing guests. Another lagoon similar in texture and has the same blue color as the Blue Lagoon is Mykvin Nature Baths. The baths are northern Iceland's answer to the South's famous spa, and it is just as appealing. Most likely, the only thing preventing people from going there is how far it is from Reykjavik. It's about a 6-hour drive one way, so Mykvin Nature Baths only suit those on longer journeys who plan to visit the northern part of Iceland. On site, you'll find a good shower and changing facilities, as well as a sauna and cafe where you can grab some refreshments before or after your soak. As a plus, the surrounding nature is stunning. Make a trip to Lake Mykvin well worth the journey any time of year. A little closer to Reykjavik is the Secret Lagoon, one of Iceland's oldest swimming pools dating back to 1891. It was abandoned for years, but was renovated and reopened in 2014 with brand new showers and changing rooms. The pool itself is a comfortable 38 to 40 degrees Celsius, or about 100 to 104 degrees Fahrenheit, just like a large hot tub. It is located near the popular Golden Circle, making it a great place to stop before or after visiting this popular sightseeing route. Aside from being a fantastic spot to take a dip, the scenery surrounding the secret lagoon is well worth the visit. Right next to it are bubbling hot springs, steaming firm oils, and even a small geyser that erupts every few minutes. The GOC sea bass are one of the newest attractions in North Iceland, located in the town of Husavik, often regarded as the whale watching capital of Europe. As can be gathered from the name, the water here is unique, as it is geothermically heated seawater rather than spring water. The water is filled with salt and a host of healing minerals quite different from those in other pools and hot tubs around the country. This water is pumped up from 2 nearby boreholes, creating a constant flow through the pools, meaning no chemicals needed to be added for hygiene reasons. The GOC sea bass offer incredible views over the beautiful bay and its glistening ocean and the beautiful mountains that frame it. There's also a small restaurant on site with an outdoor terrace, allowing you to enjoy the seascapes with some light refreshments and modern changing facilities. Fontana geothermal baths, which we mentioned before, which are located right next to Lagarden Lake, about a 90-minute drive from Reykjavik. Well, I need to take a trip.
I can imagine. You've done well.
Sorry. Like the secret lagoon, it is situated near the Golden Circle, making it a great addition to your trip to the famous trail. The Lochgaven area sits over a hot zone. People in the namesake village have been using hot water from the ground for heating their houses, cooking, and bathing since 1929. Not surprisingly, Iceland is famous for a couple other phenomena. Black Diamond Beach is a strip of black sand on the east coast. At the Diamond Beach, the icebergs, which fill the Jökulsárlón Glacier Lagoon, wash up on the shore, creating a stark contrast with the volcanic black sand. This beautiful display makes it a favorite location for photographers and nature lovers. Wildlife enthusiasts also frequent the site, as many seals call the beach home, and it is one of the best places in the country to see orcas from the shore. And of course, the Northern Lights. Found dancing in the skies above the land of fire and ice, the Northern Lights are one of the world's most spectacular natural wonders. These dancing lights are at the top of many bucket lists and bring thousands of visitors to Iceland every year. Depending on weather conditions, cloud cover, and your location, they can be hard to spot. The Northern Lights are the visible result of solar particles entering the Earth's magnetic field and ionizing high in the atmosphere. Their intensity depends on the activity of the sun and the acceleration speed of these particles. They appear as dancing lights high in the sky and vary in color. The lights usually appear green, but occasionally also purple, red, pink, orange, and blue. Their color depends on the elements being ionized. Due to the nature of the Earth's magnetic field, the auroras only appear at the poles. They are usually visible above the 60-degree latitude mark in the north and below the 60-degree latitude in the south. These southern lights are called aurora australis. Iceland, which sits at a latitude of approximately 64 degrees north, is therefore ideally located to see the aurora. Before science could explain what these dancing lights were, there were many theories throughout different cultures. For example, the Old Norse theorized that they could be the glinting of the armor of the Valkyries. These mythical female figures chose who would live and die in battle and then took their dead to the afterlife. And that is our look at Iceland. So thank you everybody for persevering with that.
Well, on behalf of everybody, I think you did extremely well. But I do know that the Icelandic meaning of foss, which you said so often, is waterfall or fall.
Yes, so, I think that became obvious to me after about, you know, the 10th foss.
So we did have a couple of questions.
Okay.
Nobody on chat. Actually, I did have a hi from somebody who's actually on the tour, and she's quite looking forward to it, so as we all are. So a question from somebody regarding the, I'm assuming the Blue Lagoon, which we could visit on the tour. Would it be closed due to COVID? But I understand that the lagoons are operating to at least the residents of Iceland.
I think some are. So, yeah. And the various different hot springs that we talked about, some are still closed right now and some are open. But definitely by, you know, November when we're going for the Northern Lights, then we expect things will be different. And we'll have a complete update then too about what is open for hot springs wise, hopefully being able to hit at least one of them while we're there.
Yes, and it's Iceland has been doing really well, at least that's the general consensus. And if you look on, we have the CIBT travel update, which is in real time on each tour page. I don't mean to take this away from you, Marianne, but you know, it shows quite clearly as of this moment where it's not open to international tourists, but we're a long way off from agriculture.
Yeah.
Okay, the other question is regarding Iceland's altitude, but I do know it's kind of up and down everywhere. Do you have any more specifics on that?
I don't think it's like, I think, you know, most of Iceland is pretty close to sea level. I don't think it's terribly high. I might have to Google that, but
some of it's below sea level.
Yeah, I don't think, like, if somebody's worried about altitude issues, I don't think.
Oh no, we went to
a country with altitude.
But certainly walking, you need certainly a good pair of walking shoes, that's for sure.
Oh, Debbie's who's always like monitoring this and very quick with the Google, is said that at this point, the Blue Lagoon is closed until April 16th.
Oh, okay. Well, that's great news. Thank you.
So, which bodes well for November if it's opening April 16th.
Actually, it's quite, what's the word I'm looking for? Soothing to watch the Northern Lights behind you. They're moving constantly.
Oh.
It's mesmerizing. That's
I forget. I don't have I don't want to see myself while I talk because it distracts me. I'm like, oh, my hair. so I don't have my video up, so I can't see it. So I forget it's there.
So there's another question here. I'm not sure that I understand it. When do you think we will be resuming tours to Iceland, and what is the duration of the tour and the price? Okay, well, you can explain that.
Sure. Okay. Hold on, I gotta pull it up. I don't know everything off by heart, so I actually pull it up on my phone. Okay, so we do have the Iceland tour planned for November. Shoot, if I could pull it up. Need Debbie on here. She's faster.
I can pull it up if you like, not to worry.
Yeah, pull it up. It's hard on my phone. Pull it up and we'll give you, we'll say the exact dates and cost and duration.
Okay, because it talks about resuming tours, but we're confident this tour is going to go, and that's the direction we're heading in right now.
Yeah, so our first tours right now are set to go in September. And what we're hearing kind of right now through a lot of travel sources is, as many countries are getting their vaccines kind of done, travel hopefully is looking good for starting kind of September-ish. And of course, everything's subject to change, but that's what we're hopeful for now. I know a lot of our US members, a lot of women in the US, a lot of people in the US are traveling already. So US has been traveling a fair bit already. Canada, we still have some fairly strict restrictions in place, so we're not traveling at this time. But really looking for September, end of August, kind of beginning of September as the time when travel kind of starts to get back to normal.
Okay.
This tour is set for
November 6th to the 15th.
November 6th to the 15th.
Your pricing in Canadian dollars is $41.99, which is approximately $3,400 US dollars. That's our shared rate. And then the single is 6,100 Canadian, again, approximately 4,900 US.
Very good. And Irene will put the link in the chat for you. If you want to click on that, you can see all the full details and the full itinerary every day. Also, we will just send a little follow-up email to you from attending, and we can include the link in there if you want to go have a look. If anybody wants to come on and say hello or ask a question live, if you raise your hand, there's a little button to raise your hand. If you raise your hand, I'll see it and I can open up your microphone so you can actually come on and chat.
Yep, that would be great to hear somebody else's voice.
Yes. I'll send you a Women's Travel Club gift card if you can say some of the names.
Be careful, it'll ring off the hook. So you did clearly articulate about COVID and how we continue to monitor, because that was one of the questions. Thank you.
And Julia wants to come on and say hi. So I'm just going to open up Julia's microphone. So your microphone's open, Julia, and you should be able to talk.
It is.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Excellent.
I'm hoping everything will be coming down because I am signed up for the Iceland tour.
Oh, excellent.
So, that's why I was the one asking about the altitude, because altitude bothers me.
Oh, okay. Yes,
So,
we'll look specifically and let you know. But I think it's fairly sea level, like, or below at certain points. It's fairly low as long as you're not, climbing up some of those
stairs.
volcanoes.
I saw the one, there's like 400 stairs to the top. Yeah, kind of reminds me of Galapagos there.
Yeah, I know, right? A lot of it did. I was like, I'm going to use the lava field pictures from Galapagos.
Yeah.
Well,
anyway,
your opening page, your opening scene with some women, my first reaction was they look like they're standing on the surfaces in Iceland, but it was probably Galapagos.
Yeah, it was Galapagos. Yeah,
it was. Yep.
Cool.
Anyways, just went on to say hello and
great, thank you.
This goes through.
Yes.
Looking forward to meeting you, Julia.
Yeah, thank you. I'm waiting for my shot. I'm hoping next week I'll be on in that level of vaccinations.
Very good.
For those from Canada that are listening, we keep hearing good news in terms of the volume of vaccines we're going to get. We might seem to be a little slow, but certainly we're going to get some deliveries from Europe, which is good news.
That's what I heard, but I also heard Niagara's kind of running short, so we'll see. We'll see. So,
we'll get through this. Thanks.
Anyway,
yeah, thanks for chatting.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye, Julia. So, Marion, just a general question about the type of clothing we'll need, but that goes to the tour notes that we give out as well.
So you will get tour notes with kind of specifics, but it's not, as we kind of touched on, it's a more moderate kind of weather year round, but we're definitely going in a cooler time. Being in November, we do that on purpose because we want to hit the northern lights, and we have a better opportunity of getting the northern lights at that time of year. But you're going to bring, long pants, warmers, like some sweaters and such. It's going to be a little bit cooler time. Janet has her hand up, so I'm just going to open Janet's. So Janet, you just unmute yourself and you should be able to say hi.
Okay. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Very good. I live in Winnipeg And I had my vaccine yesterday.
Yay! Congratulations.
Yeah. I'm happy about that. And I'm happy to hear that all tours planned for September and that thereafter are supposed to go ahead, because you and I are going to South America, aren't we?
I know. How's the Spanish coming?
Oh, good. Really good, actually. I've been at it since December. So
very good. So you're going to be our official interpreter.
Rely
oh my
upon
God.
her.
The pressure. So yeah, been vaccinated. That's
Excellent.
good.
That is wonderful news. Hey, well, have a great day, Janet, and we will see you in Peru and South America in the fall.
Yes, you bet.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So I noticed Debbie has actually put in the elevations for Iceland.
Excellent.
So yep, I can read it off if you like.
Yes, please.
Okay, so average elevation is 500 meters above sea level, but a quarter of the country lies actually below, 200 meters below. The highest point is, and I'm not even going to pronounce it, there's a peak. Maybe you could do that. I could give it a go. R.A. Fadjokul. So try and put that together. But that's over 2,000 meters high.
Okay. So yeah, so it shouldn't be a problem with elevations, Julia. And Wanda has her hand up, so I'm just unmuting you there, Wanda. If you unmute yourself, you should be able to talk.
Sorry, that was just a mistake.
Oh, well, now you have to come on and say hi.
I'll just say hello.
Well, thank you. We hope
it sounds interesting, so I'll have to keep an open mind. I'm just waiting to see what happens over the next few months.
Yeah, we understand.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking to that point, Marianne. Yes, we're always watching. We're on top of each other. Okay.
And Iceland will come up again. So we've pretty much all of our 2022 tours are up on the website, and either for pre-booking, or a lot of them are actually now open for booking, and some are even full or very close to full. The only tour, I think there's one more tour to go on the website for 2022, and it is a Tuscany kind of food wine tour that follows our Paris getaway. But that is it for 2022. So now we're starting with 2023 tours on the website, and they'll come up for pre-booking. And Iceland, because we're doing it this year, we'll skip next year, and then Iceland will come back up in 2023. So if you're interested in Iceland, this kind of sparked your interest, but you're not really ready to travel this year, then you can watch for it in 2023 and definitely pre-book that, because the pre-booking, it's a great option for you. It tells us who's kind of interested in tours and lets us gauge a little bit of interest. But also, if you pre-book, once we open the tour for booking, there is no obligation to actually book the tour. But if you do, decide that, yeah, I'm really interested, I want to book that, and you do book it, we'll give you $100 off the tour. So, it's $100 in your pocket. That, why not, just for saying, yeah, I'm interested.
And the other thing, what we've noticed, Marianne, with some of our pre-book lists, so those ladies, women have first option of spots, and we've noticed a trend towards, because not all tours have a lot of single occupancy.
Yeah.
So many of the pre-book will grab those single occupancy. So, they do go quickly, that's for sure.
Yeah. So yes, and that's the other thing. If you're pre-booked, especially on the more popular tours, we've had some tours that have filled or very close to filling just off of the pre-book list. So what we do is the popular tours for sure get first announced to anybody pre-booked, second announced to our preferred members list. So that's anybody that's traveled with us in the last couple years or is booked on a tour, gets put on the preferred members list. And then from that, then we announce it just to kind of our general membership. So if you're really interested in a tour, it does kind of make sense to get on that pre-book list, because there's no down point to it. And I have Kathy here with a question, so I'm just going to open up Kathy's microphone. Kathy, your microphone's open up, so if you unmute yourself, you should be able to ask your question or say hi.
Hi.
Hi, Kathy. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And I had to run and answer the door. And I don't know if you answered my question I put about, will people be required to have the COVID vaccine before taking the tour?
Okay, right now we have no specific information to any destinations that require the COVID vaccine, but that's only what we know as of, today, March 31st. And what we suspect, and we had some kind of industry experts on our COVID travel talk that we did not too long ago, and they kind of have some insider knowledge on the way things are going from different industry outputs. And what we suspect is eventually a lot of travel, and we're not sure who's going to exactly require it, but at some point along the way in the travel, it's going to be required to have a COVID vaccine. My guess is that it's going to be kind of like countries that require certain vaccines to come in for other things. So a lot of it's going to be country specific, requiring a COVID vaccine to actually visit the country. But as soon as we have that information, we will definitely let everybody know that's actually booked on a tour. And also on our website, every tour has a spot in the little tour menu. On the left-hand side, the last thing says travel requirements guide. If you click on the travel requirements guide, it opens up a little guide that it's pre-populated with where you're from and the country that you're interested in, but you can change the country to look up any country that you want. And that will give you current requirements that we know right now. And that's updated daily. So it's a great way to kind of have a look and see what's happening with the country, what requirements they have, what it's like. It tells you kind of what it's like in that country. So if you want to know, are masks mandatory in that country right now, or what's kind of happening in that country, it'll tell you that too.
Okay,
so it's a great little guide to give you an idea.
Okay, fortunately, I have had my first vaccine.
Yay.
And I will be, June 30th is my second, so I should be good to go.
That's wonderful. It's so, I want to do like a little informal survey of everybody, maybe on our Facebook group. How many people are vaccinated?
We get a lot of messages from ladies who just,
I know, everybody, it's like the big new thing. Everybody just wants to be vaccinated. So I've never wanted a vaccine so bad in my life.
But the extension being they want to travel.
Yeah, we joke here because Irene is our oldest tour host. And of course, all the vaccines are being done, in age groups in Canada, and probably a lot of other places that by age group. So we're like, oh, she's the only one vaccinated. She's gonna have to lead all the tours because nobody else can go.
So maybe a blessing, I don't know.
Yeah, you'll say that till you're away for 3 months in a row.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that's my hope, not hope, God willing, that this tour is going, which I feel very confident in. So I'm going to be in Egypt, and then 4 days later in Iceland, and I'm just thinking about clothing. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure how I'll make that work, but
I've played those games before.
Just pack light, regardless. Pack light.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do laundry, layer.
Yeah, that's it. So we don't have any more questions. I'd love somebody else to come on and chat. Would be great.
Anybody else? No.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, everybody. I have to tell you, I like presenting. I like finding out about all the things about the different destinations that we go to, and I like presenting it. I love the chat at the end. You know, when people come on and say hi and ask questions, a little like informal chat. I think I really miss seeing everybody and actually traveling and talking, and so it's a little bit of that connection that we're missing. But thank you everybody for attending. I hope you enjoyed Iceland and learned a little bit about Iceland. Thank you, Irene, always for kind of being my right hand in this and manning the chat. And we have coming up next travel talk. Oh, next week we're off. I'm sorry. I am in a conference at the end of the week for Africa, learning and meeting and stuff with more African suppliers. I was in one a few weeks ago, and this is the second one. Usually these would happen in destination, so I don't know if it's good or bad, but I'm still here. But I will be busy, so I couldn't kind of fit it in with all my appointments. So our next one is going to be on April 14th. And it is our, Janet will like this, it's our Peru tour info session. So we're actually going to have a very in-depth look at our upcoming Peru tour. Peru is, everybody knows me, knows Africa is my thing, but Peru is really one of my favorite countries. Peru is so amazing. And I can't wait to go through this tour and talk about everything that we do on the Peru tour, because it was a really good tour. So that's going to be on the 14th, and I hope everybody will join us for that. And between now and then, take care. Hope everybody gets in on their vaccine lists and you get more people vaccinated.
One comment, Marianne, just for future talks, just leave the Nordic lights behind you, because it is so calming. I'm sure other women must feel that. I'm just going to stay on and watch.
And then every time we go somewhere, it's like, oh, do we see the Northern Lights? No.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay, take care, everybody, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.